So we continue with the ray diagrams of the spherical mirrors. In the last video we saw the ray diagrams of the different positions, the 6 different positions of the objects placed in front of a concave mirror. Now in this video we are going to see the image formed by a convex mirror. Now in case of a convex mirror, you do not have anything like a beyond C and all, because the C and F and all are behind the mirror. So I cannot place anything behind the mirror, right? I cannot place any object behind the mirror. So accordingly, the only thing what is possible is that if I place an object anywhere in front of the mirror, then what is going to be the outcome, or what will be the image, where will the image be formed? So let's see first of all, in this diagram, what we are going to do is that we are going to take the same way what we did in the last, that is the 6th case of the concave mirror. So what we are going to take is a straight line of 10 centimeters, a 3 centimeter marker point. So it's 3 centimeter marker point. This is your point P. Again a 3 centimeter marker point, which is your point F, and again a 3 centimeter marker point, which is C. Taking this as the radius, draw the mirror. But now the only difference is that my reflecting surface is this side and not this side. So this is a convex mirror. Okay, this is the convex mirror over here. Focus behind the mirror, center behind the mirror, and so here is the place where I can place the object. So accordingly, there is only one way, that is object in front of mirror, which is a convex mirror. Okay, convex mirror. So let's make an object like this over here. The fundamental principles, whatever you are using up till now, will still remain the same. We are not changing any of these things, so nothing is going to change over here. We are just going to use the same 3 fundamental principles: C, parallel principal axis, focus, parallel principal axis. We are going to draw 2 lines which are going to be forming our image. So first one, let's take one which is passing through C. So a ray of light which is going to be forming here. Now it seems that it is going to pass through C. So because we know that anything which passes through C reflects back in the same direction. So this is the first one. This is your B and A. So this is your first ray. Now in case of the second one, what happens is that you have got this particular ray of light. One sec. This particular ray of light, which is going to be parallel to principal axis. So let's draw a line which is parallel to principal axis. So we have got a line which is parallel to principal axis. What happens to the line of parallel to principal axis? So we have got a dotted line. We assume it to pass through focus. And when you are assuming that it is passing through focus, accordingly you know that after reflection, it is going to pass through focus like this. So it is going to go like this. Right? So you find that behind the mirror is this particular point where these 2 lines seemed to intersect each other. So this is the point where the image, that is a virtual image, will be formed, that is A dash, B dash. So this gives me that image behind mirror. Okay, image will be behind the mirror, but it will be between F and P. Behind mirror, between F and P, and the nature will be virtual. All virtual are always erect, and here it is smaller than the size, so it will be diminished. So we find that the size of the image will be diminished. The position of the image will be between F and P for all the different values of the image object being anywhere in front of the mirror. Yes, the only thing is that if the object is at infinity, then the image will be at focus and will be point size. So that will be only that condition, that if the object is at infinity, the image will be at focus over here. But all of them will always be virtual and upright or erect. Okay, virtual and erect or erect or upright and erect is the same word. They are just similar words. So whether you write erect or whether you write upright is one and the same. So don't worry about this thing. Textbook says upright and I say erect. Doesn't matter. Both are the same words. So you can see that as the object is brought closer to the convex mirror, the image moves towards the pole of the mirror. Its size increases but always remains smaller than the object. It is virtual, erect and diminished and is always formed between the pole and the focus. So thus we conclude over here, conclusion on page number 94. In a concave mirror, so now we conclude between a convex mirror and a concave mirror. What do we conclude as a final end result of the ray diagrams, the 7 different ray diagrams what we already drawn. In a concave mirror, the image formed can be real or virtual, inverted or erect, diminished or of the same size or enlarged, depending upon the position of the object. As the object is brought near from infinity towards the mirror, the image is real, inverted and diminished till the object is beyond center of curvature. For the object at center of curvature, the image is real, inverted and at the same size. When the object comes closer up to focus, the image is real, enlarged and inverted. But if comes closer, still closer, object comes still closer, the image becomes virtual, erect and magnified, enlarged. On the other hand, in case of convex mirror, in the convex mirror, the mirror image formed is always virtual, erect and diminished. And it is situated between the pole and the focus for each position of the object in front of the mirror. As the object moves closer to the mirror, the image shifts towards the pole and it increases in size. We can verify it by drawing ray diagrams of different positions of the object. The formation of the virtual image by a convex and a concave mirror can be demonstrated by the following activity. So, this is a small activity what you can do it even in your house. Just take a very good shining spoon. Okay, a brand new spoon जैसा कुछ रहेगा ना जो थोड़ा शाइन कर रहा है, अच्छा सा शाइन कर रहा है, उसको ले लो. तो of course जिसके अंदर हम लोग खाना रखते हैं, that particular part is the concave and the other part becomes the convex. You can see like this and you can easily move it. So that's exactly what you are going to do in this activity. Take a polished steel spoon. The inside surface of the spoon is curved inwards and has a concave shape, while the outside surface of the spoon is curved outwards and the convex shape. Hold the spoon in such a way that the inside surface of the spoon is closer to you. See the image of the face, it is erect and magnified. Now move the spoon away from you. You will notice that the image becomes inverted. Now hold the spoon with its outside surface towards your face. Observe the image. You will find that the image is erect but diminished as shown in the figure. If you move the spoon away from you, the image remains always erect and diminished. Do you know an image formed by a mirror is always formed in front of the mirror, while a virtual image is formed behind the mirror. So the real image is always going to be in front of the mirror. Real image means the object and the image will be on the same side of the mirror. Virtual image will always be behind the mirror. So that's the difference between a real image and a virtual image. Now we'll go through the different uses of the concave mirrors and the convex mirrors. So first thing, a concave mirror is put in the following uses as a shaving mirror. Now, if many of you would have gone to a very big hotel, like, okay, अच्छा कोई star hotel में अगर तुम लोग घूमने के लिए गए होंगे, तो you'll find that in the bathroom there is this particular mirror which has got a back which is going to be like zigzag like this. connected to this, and there's a mirror over here. Okay, ये mirror जो है, this mirror, so that you can bring it closer and drag it up and down. This is basically a makeup mirror, or we can also call it as a shaving mirror. This mirror is a concave mirror. Now what you are going to do with this is that when you bring it closer, you get an enlarged image of your face, so you can do the makeup or you can do the shaving in a proper manner with a very minute thing seen very easily, bigger. So if you're putting an eyeliner, yes, you will be able to see your eye bigger, so you can put the liner much more easily as compared to a normal mirror. So that's it, the use of the mirror as a shaving mirror. A concave mirror forms an erect and a magnified image of an object placed close to it. This fact enables us to use it as a shaving mirror. Next is use of concave mirror as a reflector. If a source of light is placed at the focus of the concave mirror, we get a parallel beam of reflected light. This fact enables us to use it as a reflector in torch, searchlights and headlights of a car and other vehicles. The source of the light or lamp is placed on the focus of the concave mirror reflector. So the concave mirror, or you have reflect, उसका जो focus है वहाँ पे अगर bulb रख दिया, तो light is going to pass over here and going to give you a beam of light which is parallel to the principal axis because focus से आ रहा है. So this will give you a good searchlight or a beam of light. Next is use of concave mirror as a doctor's headlamp. So you must have seen many of the, I think normally the dentist or the orthopedic or the eye specialist and all, they have got a torch in front on their head. So ये जो torch जो on the hand जो है, तो उसका जो bulb है, there is a mirror and then there is a bulb in over here. The bulb is at the focus, so you get a pinpoint a particular point on the point wherever the doctor wants to see. So if a parallel beam of light is incident on a concave mirror, it converges the beam of into a point called focus. This enables us to use it as a doctor's head mirror to concentrate light on a small area to be examined, like nose, throat, ear, teeth, etc. Next is use of concave mirror in a solar cooker to converge the sun rays. So in a solar cooker, what happens? There is some mirrors are there, and they place the food in a container in the center. So the sun rays are going to come over here and they are going to converge at a point, that is the focus. They are going to converge at a point, and वो जो वहाँ पे converge होगा, वहाँ पे due to sun rays it is going to get heated up and the food can be cooked. So in a solar cooker, a concave mirror is used to reflect the sun rays so as to converge them on the cooking material placed at the focus of the concave mirror. Use of concave mirror is in floodlights as a reflector. So the next one is a floodlight as a reflector. In the floodlights, the source of light bulb is placed between the pole and the focus of the concave mirror so as to obtain a diverging beam of light. So these are the different uses of the concave mirror. Very, very important, because this could be not only the uses but also the give reason questions. Okay, why is concave mirror used as a solar cooker? Why is concave used as a doctor's headlamp? Why is concave used for floodlights as a reflector? So you need to mention this particular paragraph which is there down there for as the answer to this particular give reason questions. The next is use of a convex mirror. So concave mirror हो गया, अभी convex mirror का uses. A concave mirror is used in the following uses. So a rear view mirror. Use of convex mirror is a rear view mirror. A convex mirror diverges the light incident ray and always forms a smaller and erect image between its pole and the focus. This enables us to use it as a rear view mirror by a driver to see all the traffic behind him approaching the mirror. Figure 5.36 shows the convex mirror has a wider field of the view than plane mirror. Now this is something important. This figure is also important, which is drawn in the figure 5.36. That also is very important. So whenever you got a give reason of this one, it is better that you always incorporate this particular figure along with the answer, so that your answer is precise. So what we are exactly trying to do is that if I take a mirror, plane mirror, now this is a driver, you know very well, the driver can see from here to here So accordingly, he can see something, according to the law of reflection, he can see something from here to here. Okay, this is what he can see. This from this area to this area is what this driver can see. Now let's consider, instead of this, we are having a convex mirror like this. So if this is a convex mirror, what will happen is, the driver is still here, he can see from here and here, same vision. Okay, I'll make it same. Okay, I made it same so that there is no difference over here. But here what is happening? The reflected ray will be going like this. So you can see the image which is going to be available for us will be of a wider view. See this one curve and this curve. So that's why the driver will have a wider view of the backside. You know, narrow nahi rahega, usko wider view milega. So a rear view mirror always gives you a wider view mirror if the mirror is convex in nature. And that's why वहाँ पे लिखा भी रहता है that if you see your car or your bike and you will find over there written on the rear view mirror of the sides that the image is nearer than whatever is actually seen in the mirror, or it is also, so this is because we know that the image formed in a convex mirror is going to be diminished. So हम लोग को दिखता छोटा है पर actually बहुत बड़ा है. Okay, so that's the thing, that is we are getting a wider view from field view for in case of the convex mirror than a plane mirror. The next is use of convex mirror as a reflector on a street lamp. So street lamps में भी हम लोग reflector लगाते हैं, तो यहाँ पे bulb लगा तो यहाँ पे reflect होकर इधर तक जाएगा, ये भी इधर तक जाएगा. So it give you a wider focus of the light. So the fact of the convex mirror diverges the light of ray incident on it, enables us to use it in a reflector in a street lamp. The light from a bulb placed in front of the convex mirror diverges over a large area in the street as shown in figure 5.37. It's a similar thing. If I put a bulb over here, this whole area will get illuminated by this small bulb. Okay. And finally, use of the convex mirror as a vigilance mirror. Vigilance mirror is in big showrooms and departmental stores. Convex mirrors are used to have a view of the customers entering in as well as going out. The mirrors so used are called vigilance or anti-theft mirrors. So you'll always find that there are some mirrors in the corners. Now of course अभी तो CCTV आते हैं, but पहले ऐसा था कि you used to place it so you get a wider view. Now you can see these kind of mirrors in case of malls when you are going into a parking which is having a spiral parking which is there. So if your parking is going in a zigzag manner, so there will be always mirrors placed so that when you are driving here, you know that the person who is coming from you cannot, it's a blind view. You cannot see if anybody is coming from here because the thing is going like this, rounded, going like this. So if you are coming from here, so there's a mirror here, so which will tell you that okay, यहाँ पे कोई है. So when you are turning, you should be careful. So such kind of mirrors, such like convex mirrors, are placed in such kind of parking areas so that you know that if somebody is coming from the other side and you cannot view it because of the wall in between, so at least this will be helpful. So so these are also called as vigilance or anti-theft mirrors, which are convex mirrors. Right, so this was about the chapter light energy. We have completed the chapter. We will discuss the exercise in our Zoom meeting and see to it that we know all these things properly. Right, quite a important chapter. Important mainly what is there is the ray diagrams which are seen over there. So we can see that the whole chapter was divided into 3 parts. The first part was based on the refraction. The second part was a small part which was dependent on the prism and the glass slab and the spectrum part, and then comes the bigger part which was the spherical mirror. So and the ray diagrams of the spherical mirror. So these are the 3 parts of the chapter. Very important chapter as such. We have covered this chapter in, oh sorry, I did not write over here. It is part 6, I suppose. Yeah, it is point 6, part 6. So we completed it in 6 parts. So that's what is about this chapter, right? Okay, I think we are done with this. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So that's the end of this particular video and the chapter. Thank you.